A little local flavor. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big hand, Three Steves Livermore hand for our first comedian of the evening, Miss Carrie Gilbert.
What's up, winos of Livmo? That kind of rhymes. Wow. What a lovely, dapper, and not at all reflective of the changing demographics of the Tri-Valley crowd you are. Overwhelmingly white. It's great to be here. As Brian said, I am from the mean streets of Pleasanton. And when I say mean streets, of course, I mean it in the mean girls sense of the word mean. So it's great to be here in Livermore, this town that was founded by William Mendenhall on November 4th, 1869, and named for Robert Livermore. We got the Heritage Guild in the house! What's up, LHG? Did I get my facts right? Okay, yes. Okay, I didn't want to be historically heckled. That would be okay. So, Apple Maps gave me 3 route options to get here, and I have baggage with each of those options, and I'm going to unpack that baggage for you right now. So the first route option was Vineyard Avenue, and that route bums me out because it goes by the gated community of Ruby Hill, which just reminds me that I'm poor and I'll never live in a mansion, not a McMansion or a haunted mansion. I am a poor Jew, which is a very disappointing thing to me. I'm supposed to be running Hollywood, the media, and all the banks and lending institutions in the whole wide world. I couldn't even get an unpaid internship at those places. A lot of my fellow Jews find the stereotypes about us to be dangerous and offensive. I find them aspirational. The second route option was Stanley Boulevard. Too spooky. I can't not think of the 1976 Chowchilla bus kidnapping when I take that route. Okay, some of you have clearly heard of this, but if you haven't, a bunch of school kids and their driver were buried in a bunker that was Stanley Boulevard adjacent. Google it. It is the creepiest and most insane story ever, and it happened right in our own backyard. Stanley Boulevard is also home to Shadow Cliffs and that sad abandoned hill where the water slides are no more. R.I.P. water slides. And just public service announcement, the lake at Shadow Cliffs is roughly comprised of 1/3 water, 1/3 toxic algae, and 1/3 Canada goose poop. It is murky to the max. Third route option was 580, and my main issue with 580 is that it intersects with its elitist perpendicular cousin 680, the freeway of the bourgeoisie. 680 leads to Black Hawk, which is essentially the Ruby Hill of Contra Costa County, which also reminds me of my lowly poor Jew status. Despite the traffic, I do prefer 580. It's the working man's freeway. It's the freeway of Ja people. I like to think that Bob Marley would also. Local references for the win. But I do feel that there is an elephant in the room that needs to be addressed. I feel like there's kind of a Cold War happening, shout out Oppenheimer. And it's a Cold War between the Pleasant Townies and the Livermorons. And this is, I think partly due to the fact that the people of Pleasanton tend to be snobbier and maybe a little bit more entitled than the good people of Livermore. But Livermore Heritage Guild agrees. I would like to resolve this tension for you right now because I truly feel like Livermore and Pleasanton are the twin cities of the Tri-Valley. Because think about it, we have all the same things just in different configurations. Summer festivals, Pleasanton has the Alameda County Fair, Livermore has the rodeo, iconic spots for sweet treats. Pleasanton has the Meadowlark Dairy. Shout out Meadowlark Dairy. Livermore has the Donut Wheel. Former residents who became Major League Baseball stars. Pleasanton has Brandon Crawford. Livermore has Randy Johnson, aka the Big Unit. Best nickname in baseball. Malls, Pleasanton has Stone Ridge. Livermore has the San Francisco Premium Outlets. The world's most deceptively named mall. Every time I drive by, I want to add 40 miles east of to the San Francisco Premium Outlet sign. So, Pleasanton and Livermore, twin cities, but, fraternal twins. But wait, there's a red-headed stepchild in the mix here, ready to take down those fraternal twins. I speak, of course, of Dublin, California. I love Dublin, California. I love all things cartoon/fake Irish. Lucky Charms, Shamrock Shakes, Irish Spring Soap, I love it all. And Dublin has that great big St. Patrick's Day celebration every year. And I love how multi-culti it is. The South Asian population is really putting up some big numbers compared to the actual people of Irish descent. And that makes total sense to me because if you think about it, Indian people and Irish people should be BFFs because they share a common enemy known as jolly old England. And I love that India's response to colonization was to make like Missy Misdemeanor Elliott. They put that thing down for did and reversed it. India said to England, we're gonna come over to your little British island, spice up your lives with our curries, our chutneys, and the many scrumptious flatbreads of our great nation. Puri, papadam, chapati, naan, uttapam. I don't speak Hindi, but I do speak fluent carbohydrate. Do not let the Spanx I'm wearing fool you. But that's not where we're gonna stop. England said, India, we're gonna come to the USA and colonize your former colonies. We're gonna raise the productivity levels at all the software companies and hospitals. Our kids are gonna dominate the spelling bees and the science fairs. And then we're gonna go to the South Pole of the moon. Which empire does the sun never set on now, you dodgy hooligans? I love the St. Patrick's Day Festival. I go every year and I run the Shamrock 5K in all my green sportswear, and then I pass out the many four-leaf clovers that I've saved and laminated for the occasion. I'm gonna brag about myself a little bit right now. I'm really good at finding four-leaf clovers.
She really is.
Yes, I am. It is my one true talent, and I'm so good at it, I figured I must be at least a wee bit Irish. So I did 23andMe. I am 0% Irish. But as it turns out, I am 0.4% leprechaun. and 99.6% Ashkenazi Jewish. My genes are so Jewish, they're performing a rousing production of Fiddler on the Roof in my body right now. Oh, ooh, they're almost at the end of Act 1. Sunrise, sunset. Hot take, COVID-19 turned the whole world Jewish. Mazel tov, you guys. Because think about it, it forced us all into hiding because there was something dangerous and scary trying to kill us. Right? Seriously. People from the CDC kept saying, COVID-19 doesn't discriminate. And I was thinking, well, it's trying to kill me and I'm a Jew. Therefore, technically, and by the transitive property, COVID-19 is anti-Semitic. It's the Mel Gibson of diseases. It's the Kanye West of diseases. It's the Bradley Cooper's prosthetic nose in the movie Maestro of diseases. I couldn't decide between all three of those, so we got them all. Truth bomb Livermore, marriage and parenthood are not for everyone. And I know this for a fact because I'm married and I'm a parent. Not for me. But it's okay, Livermore. Regret is my brand. I have one daughter, she's 20. When she was younger, people always kept asking me, when are you gonna have another baby? That's like asking a cancer survivor, when are you gonna have another tumor? Don't tell my daughter that joke. I already have, so my husband and I celebrated our 23rd wedding anniversary. That minimal amount of clapping is about the accurate amount of clapping. And when you've been with someone for a really long period of time, as I have with my husband, that person can often come to represent the slow and agonizing death of all your hopes and dreams. I know, I'm a romantic. I've shifted my thinking about my husband though recently. I've decided that he's good enough. Like, he's not great. Good enough. And I can't leave him because we just share too many in-jokes at this point. Like, for instance, 20 years ago, we were in the south of France enjoying the beautiful city of Aix-en-Provence, but there was dog poop everywhere. And one day we were walking down the street and we saw this woman and her little son walking in the opposite direction, and the mom almost stepped in dog poop, but the little son yelled, "Attention, mommy!" And the mom narrowly avoided a poo on shoe disaster. And my husband and I thought this was like the most hilarious thing. We have adopted "Attention, mommy!" as like our feces avoiding mantra for the past 20 years. And so I can never leave him because I can't leave "Attention, mommy!" It took us decades to build up that arsenal of in-jokes. I guess gotta keep it rolling. I've recently kind of shifted my perspective on how I'm feeling about menopause too. And don't worry, fellas, I'm gonna really try hard not to alienate you with my whole big chunk of menopause material. But if I do, just think you can't spell menopause without N-E-N. So I've been feeling the pause, comma, meno, big time. And it's been a doozy. I feel like I'm the weird Barbie of the change of life, just because my symptoms are so weird. I'm going to tell you about my 4 weirdest menopause symptoms. Symptom number 1, I wake up every morning in a full fight or flight panic attack, and didn't enjoy this at first, but I decided to kind of embrace the panic attacks. I envision them as like a Marine drill sergeant, specifically Gunnery Sergeant Hartman as portrayed by Arlie Ermey in Full Metal Jacket. So I wake up and it's like yelling at me, "Wake up, you no longer menstruating monthly maggot! Your empty ovaries are equally worthless, and you are the lowest form of life on Earth." And I'm like, "Sir, yes, sir." But those panic attacks really get me out of bed and onto the basic training that is life itself. Second menopause symptom I have is that I'm allergic to people, places, and things that I never was before. And not just like Benadryl allergic, I'm talking like EpiPen allergic. For instance, I'm super allergic to people with restless leg syndrome. And I realized this at the Oakland airport when I was flanked by two people that shared this particular malady. They were shaking their legs so hard, I felt like I was on the most turbulent flight of my life. And we hadn't even left the gates. Had to peace out and go run over to the C's candy stand. I'm also allergic to offices. I recently returned to an office after working remotely during the pandemic. It was a disaster. I now avoid offices of all kinds. Office Depot, Office Max, Microsoft Office, no thank you. My boss was really toxic too. And her name was Lizzo. She made me eat a banana I did not want to eat. Turns out she really is 100% that bitch. Oh, I love Lizzo, sorry. But you're all up on your Lizzo scandal, so that's good. I'm also allergic to rain, which wasn't always the case, but now I just get one drop on me and I turn into the Wicked Witch of the West in her death scene. It's like, I'm melting! And melting leads me to symptom number 3, which is hot flashes. Now, my hot flashes are not typical, and they don't happen to me, they come from me in the form of gas. I am so gassy now, I often have to run away from people mid-convo to just spare myself the humiliation of another human being hearing the symphony of tooths my digestive system now performs on a daily basis. Yeah, I know we're moving towards like an EV future, but I sadly am still gas-powered. I am so bad for the environment, you guys. I am a clunker that should be exchanged for cash. I think the hot gas flashes must be hereditary because the only other person I ever knew who suffered from them was my mom. But fortunately, she had the good sense to go slowly deaf throughout her entire adult life. So she didn't have to hear her hot gas flashes. I did though, loud and clear. On the other hand, I'm actually going slowly blind, which I consider a feature, not a bug, of the aging process. I can't afford Botox, but I can't really see my fine lines and wrinkles like I used to. Tiny victory, you guys. My 4th weird menopause symptom is that I now love and appreciate the music of the Beach Boys, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. And I can give you lots of reasons why. That's from Help Me Rhonda. I used to think of the Beach Boys as like simple surfing squares, and now their harmonies just like touch my soul and soothe my anxieties like no other band can. God knows what I'd be without you, the Beach Boys. And I actually modeled my hair. This is not a mistake. My hair, it's modeled after the bushy blonde hairdo that gets a shout out in the first verse of Surfing USA. I think I nailed it. I know. I recently watched that show Cheer on Netflix, and I found those plucky Texans very inspirational, so I actually wrote a cheer for the change of life that I'm going to perform for you right now. It has choreo, but I can only kind of do it. By ovulation, I graduated, but fertility is overrated. Menopause. I'm also a big fan of grandfathers of rap, the Sugar Hill Gang, and I really want them to reboot the franchise of Sugar Hill Gang. This is my audition, okay? And my MC name is an acronym. It's MC Ma'am Y. It stands for Middle Class Menopause Adult Married Mom with Anxiety Issues. I'm gonna transform. Oh look, I found a 4-leaf clover. It's on my head. I'm gonna drop some rhymes for you. Okay. I'm MC Ma'am Y, and I'm here to say I listen to the Call Map every day. I call Pleasanton, California home, and I rock the Jufro and the microphone. I just got my teeth whitened, that's why they gleam. Not just a soccer mom, no, I coach the team. I did coach for 2 years. My kid needs therapy because she shares my genes. My panic attacks are like angry Marines. I love my RAV4, though it's hard to park it. I buy my fruit and my veggies at the farmer's market. I eat organic because pesticides are scary, not a vegan per se, but I do avoid dairy. Makes me gassy. Marie Kondo is my favorite hoe. When I'm in a school zone, I drive mad slow. When I want to relax, I drink Chardonnay. If you have restless leg syndrome, please stay away. I got a sleep sofa so you can be my guest. I've been married half my life, so I'm sexually repressed. I wish I had a brown man I could call hun. I'm not into white guys because I'm married to one.